Hey, what is up again everyone? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to do something a little bit different. Basically this morning I woke up to a lot of people on Instagram talking about something called Gundam Beyond. So the first thing that popped into my mind was, what the hell is that and why does it look so awesome? But before I actually get into talking about that, I'll mention where it was seen. It was on the Gundam 40th anniversary livestream, which was on today. So 2019 will be the 40th anniversary of the Gundam franchise, which started obviously in 1979 with the first series Mobile Suit Gundam. So like I said, before I actually get into the Gundam Beyond thing, which I'm totally hyped about but skeptical about, I'm going to talk about and summarize some of the aspects, some of the things that were talked about for next year, which is the 40th anniversary of Gundam. So the first thing, and kind of goes without saying, it was totally expected by everyone, was the fact there is going to be a Gundam Build Divers Season 2. It's hardly an earth-shattering announcement really. Like I said, it's to be expected. Gundam Build Fighters and Gundam Build Fighters Tri both got at least 2 seasons, so why wouldn't Gundam Build Divers? I mean, it's kinda like if I was going to make an announcement for the channel going, Mecha Gaikotsu 2019, more Gundam reviews. That wouldn't really make much sense. There's no real news there, so let's move on. The next thing we found out is that Gundam the Origin is getting chopped up into a series. Basically, it's going to be chopped up and re-edited the way the Dragon Ball Z movies were made into some of the parts of Dragon Ball Super. Except instead of being hundreds of episodes long, it's only going to be 13 episodes. This is good news for anyone who hasn't seen it already and prefers the episodic kind of style, the episodic approach. But if you have seen the movies already, they may slip something new into it, but you've pretty much seen it already. Conversely, on the other side, G-Reco, which was a bit of a flop, personally I never finished the series, that is getting the theatrical release treatment, which honestly I think is great. They're going to take that series which I felt was too long and pedantic. I got bored really easy and never finished it. So they'll be chopping that down into a theatrical release. I'm not sure if that's multiple theatrical releases, which I hope it isn't, or if it's just going to be the one. If it's chopped down to an hour and a half, maybe it'll be tolerable this time around. The animation in a lot of it was fantastic, very expressive, very nice. Maybe it always should have been a movie, but for me, that means one thing and one thing only, and what I am hoping for. And that is finally a master grade release of Gundam G Self. I may not have liked the series so much, but I do love the design of that crazy mobile suit, so I want my master grade. Seriously, it's from a Tomino series and they didn't make a master grade kit of it. What's wrong with them? Next up, the next announcement we got is we're getting a brand new SD Gundam series. Personally, I don't usually review these or even get into the series, but the interesting aspect I noticed was mentioned here is that this time around it looks like Bandai wants to try and hit the West. They seem to be wanting to go for a worldwide audience. The Pokemon effect, I guess. So once again, it does seem that they are going to try for that elusive mainstream Western toy market, which they've tried multiple times before. Will they succeed this time? I'd know about that, but I'd like to see it happen. So we all know that Mobile Suit Narrative is coming out at the end of this month, but at the live event we've got one more trilogy of movies announced, which is Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway's Flash. This series is based on a series of novels by Tomino himself, and honestly I don't know a whole lot about them, but what this series follows is the pilot, Hathaway Noah, who is the son of Mobile Suit Gundam's Bright Noah, a character best known for bitch-slapping Amuro right in the face. But when it does come to Gundam series, the main thing I'm interested in is the mobile suits, and what we're going to see in this one is the RX-105 Psy Gundam, which is a 5th generation Gundam that looks absolutely crazy. And as usual with new movies or new series, that means new Gunpla, and I really want to see this guy right here in a master grade. I know, I'm always talking about master grades, but I love them. So moving along now, and as well as all the animated announcements we got, there is a couple of live action ones as well, including the upcoming stage play of Gundam 00, which is something that I can't even comprehend. What do they even do in a stage show of Gundam for the actual mobile suits? Is it just like a big prop in the back, a small prop in the back? Personally, I can't imagine these being very good, but I think it'd be pretty hilarious to go see one. I think these things are usually aimed at females, so I can't imagine it being all that great. As this is only a Japan-only thing, those of us who don't live in Japan, the only other live action thing that we can look forward to is the live action movie that's coming up. At the event, we got a 5-second teaser for it. Of course, this movie is by Legendary Pictures. I don't actually know how I feel about a live action Gundam movie, especially if they're going to put a Western spin on it. But at the same time, I am staying hopeful. This is by Legendary Pictures. And if we take a quick scroll through their credentials, they do have a lot of decent movies and seem like they might be the best studio for the job. If anyone's going to do it, this seems like the perfect studio, I guess. So as for the movies they have made, they made the Batman Begins series of Christopher Nolan Batman movies. They did Watchmen. They did The Hangover. Actually, that would be a pretty interesting plot for a Gundam movie. Amuro wakes up missing a tooth after a night of heavy drinking and drugging and doesn't remember where he left his RX-78-2. Besides that, then we have Inception, Sucker Punch, Pacific Rim, and Godzilla. These two are probably the closest in theme that we could expect this Gundam movie to be like. On top of that, we've got Jurassic World, Warcraft, Pacific Rim, Uprising, the second Jurassic World, and of course they're going to be making the upcoming Pokemon Detective Pikachu. So we've got quite a few monster movies, big robot movies, and anime related movies in there. So it does seem like they may be the right people for the job. If they do it right, this could be an absolute epic. If they do it wrong, it, well, could be an absolute flop. But here's hoping. I'm definitely hoping. And speaking of live action awesome giant Gundam robots, it also seems that the actual full-scale moving Gundam project is still in the works. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you happen to miss it, a couple of years ago the Gundam Global Challenge was announced, where they were looking for engineers from around the world to get the full-size Gundam moving. If you remember when the full-scale Unicorn Gundam was put up outside of Diver City, before that there was the actual RX-78-2 full-size statue. They tore that down and I think they used the full inner section of it to build the Unicorn Gundam and took all the parts of the RX-78-2 away. They didn't just throw them in the garbage, they kept them for this project. So what they want to do is get the actual Gundam to move by the year 2020, which just happens to line up with the Tokyo Olympics. So I think they want a big, moving, gimmicky Gundam to set off that show. I'm no robotics expert, but in the last couple of years we have seen a lot more interesting style prototype robots coming out. So let's hope they got a really good team together for this and make something absolutely awesome. In my mind, all I can see is a Gundam on a big post just flailing its limbs very slightly or waving, but I hope they do something extremely, extremely impressive. However though, I do feel it's just going to be a gimmicky thing for the Olympics. And finally, the main reason I decided to make this video is Gundam Beyond. So if you don't know what Gundam Beyond actually is, as part of this live event, we were shown 4 images with Gundam Beyond written on them. These 4 pieces of artwork apparently focus on encounters between characters and mobile suits from different series. So to me, this sounds incredibly exciting. As for the images they did show, the first one is a close-up of Banner Hurling's helmet, and reflected in that is Amuro and his RX-78-2. Honestly, I feel if this was a throwdown situation, the Unicorn would absolutely whitewash the RX-78-2, but it's a cool concept. In the second image then we see Belty from G-Reco as well as his G-Self in what looks like a paddy field. In the distance then we've got Casval and Artesia from Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin, or as you'd know them from Mobile Suit Gundam, Chara Aznable and Sailor Mast. In the third image then, and this is one fantastic picture, we've got Hiro Yui from Gundam Wing as well as his Wing Gundam reflected in the windows of a building, and on top of said building is Camille from Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam. In the last one then, we've got Mikazuki in front of his Gundam Barbatos Lupus, and in the foreground we've got that absolutely iconic flower from Gundam 00, and if you zoom in on that sword mace there, we can see that it's held by Setsuna F. Seiei, and this to me is my favorite and a throwdown I would love to see. Iron-Blooded Orphans versus Gundam 00? Yes please. Sadly however, this does not seem to be anything more than just a set of pictures. 4 images only. It doesn't seem like this is going to spawn a TV or movie series, and then it's just these 4 works. If this doesn't get made, to me this seems like absolutely wasted potential. Out of everything mentioned, this is what I'm the most excited about, and it doesn't so far seem to be anything. Like I said, it doesn't seem like it's going to spawn a TV or movie series or even a web series. To me, I would love to see something like that Build Fighters web series, Gundam Build Fighters Batlog, which was a great excuse to get fan favorite mobile suits throwing down the way we want to see in an actual anime. So is Beyond an absolute lost cause, only relegated to 4 pictures? If I know anything about Bandai Namco and Sunrise, is that they like money. 1,000 variants of the same damn high-grade unicorn Gundam shows that, as well as them pumping out Gundam game after Gundam game after Gundam game, which is the same Gundam game with a little bit extra in it. If there is the demand, then they will have to pay attention. We need to make this happen, and honestly, I think we need a hashtag or something. Make Bandai know that we want this as a series. Like I mentioned Gundam Batlog, the first episode of Gundam Batlog teased this awesome concept of iconic Gundam pilots facing off in epic Gundam throwdowns, with the Red Comet himself, Char Aznable, butting heads with Gundam 00's Ribbons Allmark. I want to see this with even bigger, better pilots and bigger, better mecha. We need to see Gundam Beyond happen. We need to see Amuro versus Banner. We need to see Hero versus Camille. We need to see Setsuna versus Mikazuki. We need to see maybe not that one. Anyway, so that is it for the video. If you like this and would like to see some more sit down, chill and chat about Gundam videos like this in future, hit that like button to let me know. And if the slim chance of Gundam Beyond actually ending up happening, what is your dream throwdown? Who would you like to see? What pilots, what mobile suits throwing down? Drop it down there in the comments and let's have an awesome conversation on the endless potential of the Gundam Beyond concept. We need to let Bandai know we want this. We want this more than anything else they announced at that show. But anyway, as always, all my endless thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.